Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Risking It All podcast. We're actually joined by our first guest this week, which is great. We've got Shaun Gallacher on from Strength and Movement, who are a health and fitness gym. So, Shaun, great to have you, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, mate.
We're really looking forward to hearing about your story, mate. So, let's not beat around the bush. Let's just get stuck right in. So, Shaun, basically, take us right back to the start, mate.
Back to the start.
Back to the start. You know, like, what was your childhood like growing up? Where did you grow up? What sort of education did you have? And basically, what did you get up to in your formative years?
No education. Lived with my mum, mate. Lived with my mum. Only child. Grew up in Cardonald, for anybody that knows that, in Glasgow. Aye, it was good, mate. It was quiet, but it was actually a bit sheltered, mate, in all honesty. My ma, she doesn't watch us. But she kind of protected me, mate. She didn't let me really do anything, in all honesty, mate. It was a great childhood, but...
What's Cardonald like? Is it rough or is...
I thought Cardonald was quite nice, is it no?
Oh, is it? No, mate, well, we stayed kind of alright, but there's nice parts of Cardonald. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Not bad,
if you think what Cardonald is, mate, it's right in the middle of Ibrox, Govan, Pollock, Penally, so it's nice, you know what I mean?
Aye.
And see you said sheltered as well, like...
Aye.
What do you mean by that? Was your mum like...
Overprotective, mate.
Overprotective, right?
Overprotective, so she wouldn't let me fucking do anything, mate. Nothing, and I mean nothing.
Nay out in the streets causing it.
No, when I was young anyway, and then it wasn't until I maybe got a wee bit older, secondary school, you start getting introduced to different people and that, and then I kind of rebelled a wee bit, I suppose.
Aye.
But
What school did you go to?
Loads secondary, mate. Aye. You have it now?
No, I don't think I have. But listen, there's quite a bit of running theme. Like, as you could probably tell for the drive in, my geography is horrendous. Like,
it's terrible.
But no, what was Lourdes like?
Shambles, mate. Shambles. Schemy.
Was it?
So schemy, mate. Aye. And obviously that's what I'm feeling, you know what I mean? That's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But aye, that was kind of my childhood, mate. And then played football as a young boy as well. Played not a bad level, to be fair. But and that didn't last for long.
Yeah, so when you say not a bad level, right, compared to the level of free goals,
speak for yourself.
what sort of, so were you always quite sporty growing up? Was that kind of where you spent most of your time if you weren't on the streets?
Aye, mate, aye. Played football. Football, wasn't it?
Aye.
Like every boy in Glasgow at that time. So I played pro youth, mate, until I was about 17. So
actually a decent level then.
Yeah.
Alright level for them.
And what sort of pro youth were you at? A few clubs or was it one club?
Queen's Park, St Mirren, Partick Thistle.
Aye.
Or the shite teams.
Right. And was when you were growing up and going through the systems in pro youth, were you thinking about after school? Were you thinking about being a pro footballer at that point?
No, I hated school.
Aye.
I hated school.
Aye.
All I thought about was playing football, mate. And then, see, to be honest with you, it's probably, when I look back now, it's probably fucking stupid, right? But I used to go and get pissed and that for playing.
Aye.
The night before playing and that, and it's just the environment I was in.
Aye.
And other boys when they do that, you know what I mean? And I hope my mom's not watching now. But mate, see like 14, 15, maybe out and drinking the streets and all that, and then playing for fucking St Mirren the next day, or Queen's Park, or whoever.
Aye.
It was a shambles, really.
Yeah.
When you look back, you know what I mean?
I think there's so, even among our own circle,
there's
there's so many people you know that on the face of it were amazing at football, and you're like, how did they not make it?
Everybody almost made it, didn't they?
And it's just it's just part, like the culture in Scotland is just, you get to 15, 16 and it's so difficult to keep the heat down and think, no, I'm just got to focus on fit, because your pals are your most important thing in the world when you're 15, 16. You want to fit in, you want to do what they're doing, like
100%, mate. That's not an excuse, but is it? But it's a reason.
It's a reason, but it's easy trap to fall in with, because I think everyone who is at the same age done the same thing.
Exactly.
Just we didn't have one iota of your talent. You know what I mean?
It's very hard to say no to that, isn't it?
Aye.
Aye.
So you kind of skipped to your education pretty quickly there, but similar to me, I guess, was it a bit of a non-event, just school wasn't for you?
Mate, do you know what? I was actually, she'll laugh at me now, right? But I was actually quite smart, right? So I think I've still got 4 or 5 hires there sitting there. But I mean, I just didn't go to school, mate. I hated it.
Aye.
That's an impressive turnout for
If I'm not going to school.
It's good going. And throughout that time, were you just wanting to play football? Did you ever think to yourself at any point, you know, I could make a career for myself in football?
I said when I was younger, I thought that, mate. And then through that age of 14 to maybe 17, 18, I just went mental.
Aye.
And that's what ruins it, doesn't it? But it's a culture thing. So going back to culture, mate, the culture's horrible in Scotland. So if you get that in like Spain or Italy or something like that, you never ever. Boys would never do that. I mean, it's just normal here, isn't it? Go drinking.
Did any of your coaches or managers at that time ever pick up on it?
Never, mate. Never. So you don't know if they just don't know or they.
Or maybe they already know and they just go, that's what he's going to do. He's made that choice.
Because I'd imagine, I don't know what the turnover is or the success rate of somebody going from pro youth to actual pro is, but I'd imagine it's pretty low.
I think it's really low. Massively low.
So do you think there's an acceptance for managers that, you know, the minute they see that you're no that in that 1 or 2% of players that can make it, they just let you drift away?
Aye, 100%, mate. I spoke to my mate, right? My mate coaches with Rangers, and he was like, you can see them, the boys that got to make it when they're like 8, 9. You see them, those two make it, or they've got a chance of making it. Everybody else is just see.
Mate, I find even like in adult life, like, see when you go through periods where you just can't be fucked with the drink and you think I'm going to have a wee period off it, like you get questions like, why are you not drinking? What's up? Like, nothing, I'm alright. Like, I'm just don't want to get wrecked. I'm alright. Don't worry. Like, you don't need to panic. Or like, it's that classic one where when your wife falls pregnant or your missus, you know, is due, and it's like, oh God, I'm nervous about going out because people have got to ask me why I'm not drinking, and they've got to know that I'm pregnant straight away. It's just a cultural thing in Scotland.
Just tell people you're pregnant.
Aye, well, play the part, no bother.
But it's bad, mate. And I think you've spoken about it in the gym, mate. Like, mate, people like you're going to try to lose weight or something, and you're like, I'm not drinking tonight. Boys are like that. Fuck up your proof.
The time Shaun will ask me because he knows will you get in coming up this next few weeks? And I'll be on no, and then I'll think about it and I'll go, fuck, I've got fucking this, I've got that, and
it's always something.
I'm drinking. You know, you kind of fall into a bad habit of all that, didn't you?
Aye.
I get chinned on Monday, but so the drink's hard. But when I went in PT Mondays, what'd you do at the weekend? I was out at the pub, wasn't too bad. We had the steak dinner or 4 days. What'd you do on Sunday? I had a massive Burger King. And then I had a Chinese for my dinner. That's it. That's a bit that kills you. You could probably do a night out, but
it's not just the drinking, it snowballs into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The full week's fucked.
Aye.
Yeah.
It's hard.
All right. So thinking about that journey you were on then, from sort of 14 to 17, you mentioned that you maybe started to see that you maybe weren't going to make it.
Aye.
What age did you come out of the pro youth system?
17, I think I was.
And how did that...
I've got a belter story about that, right?
It's
a honking story, but for if he's listening. So, one of I was head of youth at Alloa, right? So I'm 17, right? I don't drive. Go to train through Alloa on a Friday night, and the gaffer's like, "He's like, head of youth wants to see you and you and you," and I mean, man, any bar. I was playing well. I thought I'm doing alright here, and he's like, you're no signing. We're not signing you next year. So it's about January of the season. He says, we're not signing you for full time next year. So you can just cut the road if you want. I was like, or you can continue, you can go and you can train and you can go home. I was like, what? Honestly, I was like,
that's crazy.
Well, obviously I'm not going to go and train. Right?
Aye.
I just get to see him.
So that was you as a 17-year-old, you know, no prior warning, just, you know,
sorry,
quite happy.
That's a shit way to treat somebody that is essentially still away.
I'm going to just pick up the phone, mate, and say,
aye,
to me, I'll wait till the end of the season.
Aye, just like, aye, that is.
Was that because there was, like, he just knew that you weren't cut out for it, do you think?
He basically knew. He knew he wasn't got to sign me next year. And that was it. Done. See you later.
That was you.
So cutthroat as fuck, innit?
And you see me think about like kids at that age, like 17-year-old.
I could push you down a bad path.
That could really, really cripple you in regards to your confidence, your belief in yourself. You know, just one day you walk in thinking everything's rosy. Next day you're on the train back for Ireland.
Get him named. Name and shame him.
No, mate.
And see that is that an extreme example of a pro youth system letting a player go, or did you find that with all your other systems that you were in, like your?
No, the rest of them were really good, mate.
Were they?
In all honesty, aye. The rest of them would actually find you clubs.
That's
what we done. But that was a weird one. It really was weird. I never expected it. You know, everyone's all happy and then turn up. I get the fuck.
Your career in football was over, and then did you stay on in high school or did you leave? Like
I stayed on to fifth year.
Fifth year,
done my Highers.
Entered the workforce after that. What was your first job?
No, mate, I kind of drifted a wee bit. I actually worked, kind of ties in with you, right? I worked selling solar panels in a call centre, mate. Outbound calls. That was the 4 months of my life.
I have no idea about that. If it's the worst 4 months of your life, I can see why you've only not told us yet.
Fuck me, honestly. It wasn't so much selling solar panels, by the way. It was just the
call centre life.
Honestly.
We spoke about this in last week's episode, and there's so many people that we know that have done a bit of time in call centres, and it's either for you or it's no. Like a lot of folk hate it, to be honest.
Have you worked in a call centre?
I worked in call centres forever, mate, until I joined Barry. I've done everything in call centres, but I loved it. I really enjoyed it. But I found it, it's probably quite a stereotypical thing to say, right? But see guys like yourself that are into fitness, keep them active, they generally don't cope well in contact centres for obvious reasons. You're chained to a desk for 8 hours a day.
I think I was young and all, mate. So, like, if I'm back now, I'd probably do a lot better. But if I was young, I just wanted the money, mate. I just wanted a wee bit of dough when I left school and just to enjoy my life. I wasn't interested, mate. I think if you really dialed in, you can make a lot of money doing it. Because it was all right money. Even at the time, mate, you making like £15 an hour or something, then you're getting
like some sort of commission or something like that
on your ones that you sell. So it was all right.
Were you still living with your mum at that point when you started working? I
didn't move it till I was 23 or something.
Right, okay.
So that's young these days.
It is now.
It is, mate.
It's because you can't afford the house.
So obviously you get let go for Alloa in that mental meeting. What could you even call that a meeting?
That was a meeting, mate. It was about 5 minutes.
5-minute job. Done a wee stint in the call centre. Wasn't it for you? So when did you, first of all, did you maintain a level of football? Did you still play for other maybe amateurs or juniors or anything like that?
I played boys club for 2 or 3 years, and then I went junior. I went junior when I was 20.
Right.
I've played junior since. Still do
to this day. And what's the juniors like compared to? So if you've experienced pro youth and then you go amateur and then juniors, was there a big difference? And
I like juniors, mate, because it's competitive in it. So I don't know if you know anybody's played pro youth, because it's non-competitive. I don't know if it still is, by the way, but it was non-competitive up till under 17s.
Yeah.
So there's no league. I think that's shite.
There's no league.
No league until you're under 17s.
Well,
I don't know if it's the same now, but
that's pretty weird.
What are you doing?
Just playing against other teams, mate. Obviously, you're still competitive because you might
win, but that's
weird. That's crazy. I never knew that. That won't come as a surprise to most folk that I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
It's weird because I don't know, you end up. But I know it sounds stupid, but it's not as competitive.
And that seems really bizarre. I remember when I was like younger playing under 14s, 15s, 16s, we had a league.
Boys clubs
had leagues. Like, we weren't great.
League cups, tournaments and stuff.
Something to play for, innit?
That's really strange. I genuinely didn't know that.
What do you think the rationale behind that is?
I have no idea, mate. It doesn't make sense to me. I think, I do know what it is. It's so boys get fair playing time, innit? So if obviously if you get 5 boys that go to the league, you're not going to play them that much. Whereas if it's non-competitive and the result doesn't matter, then you just fling them one day and they all get the same playing time, so they all develop the same.
Right, okay.
But that is the rationale behind it, innit? But at the end of the day, those 5 guys only got to make it anyway. If you're half
bizarre, you'd think you would try and get people that are into winning and develop a winning mentality so that if you've got a good group of boys there,
You would think
you
so,
can
wouldn't
see them develop together.
That makes sense to me. But
It seems like a even bigger leap going from pro youth to pro if you've not had the years of competitive football.
exactly. If you're 16 or 17 when you make it, you've not really played competitive football. You played it for maybe a year or 2 years max.
So what did you do after the call centre then? Because obviously playing amateur football, junior football's no going to cut it money wise.
No, it's definitely not. I actually done a bit of coaching.
Right.
I done a bit of coaching for St Mirren, actually. I hated that, no, mate. I hated that. That was actually at the same time. So I went back to college and done a bit of sports coaching. Done 2 years sports coaching, HNC, extended sports coaching. Thought I was going to go into PE teaching. And thought, nah, I hate wins. So I sacked that. I was doing a wee bit of coaching for St Mirren at the time, sacked that as well. And then that's when I get into PT.
PT, so it was at that point. So you tried
20, 21.
So you tried the coaching, tried a couple of things, and then thought, you know what, PTs.
I think it was wins, mate. See, wins in groups.
Aye.
1 or 2 is fine. And your aim wins are fine, aren't they? But see in groups.
I said that.
I like how you've said that with my own wins is fine just to cover your ass.
Chelsea.
See, I loved, look, I done youth work before I did my job, and I loved groups of wins. I just wound them up. I was just a total wind up merchant. And
You need the personality for it, don't you?
aye.
You've obviously got it, I've not.
On the way in, he was talking about how much he loved an argument this morning. So
I'll give you all the wins, eh?
Gravitates to that. So, how long did it take you in the PT world to realise that, you know, this is for me? This is what.
So straight away, mate.
Aye.
I think I like 1-to-1. You know what I mean, just talking to somebody 1-to-1. Obviously, we've moved on to groups now, but I think the 1-to-1's good, mate. And I think that's my level is. See, when I was doing classes and all that, like, I've not got the energy. You need the energy for that, don't you? You need.
Getting at the front end.
That's not me either. So I was doing a few classes at the start.
I can see you on a bike with the spandex on and the wee mic and getting at the Mr. Motivator.
Nah, no idea.
Nah.
But I realised that classes weren't for me, mate.
See, when
big classes, because obviously we do small groups now, which is fine, but big classes are not for me, mate. Shouting, jumping a bit and all that.
When you started PTing, I'm guessing that was just working in local gyms, like wherever you could pick up work, or were you doing like one-on-one for yourself for the beginning?
But for myself, mate, I was self-employed for the start, aye.
Right, okay.
That's the way most gyms
I
take you
thought
on.
that was a sort of model of PTs, aye.
Hi, I'm not really clued up in the model. So how? So if you're a PT and you're self-employed, how does that work? Do you approach gyms and, you know, talk us through that whole model?
Pretty much, mate, aye. See, to be honest with you, gyms are always looking for PTs, right? So say if you're a PT, you can't get a job, you're doing
That's
something
right.
wrong, you're doing something wrong. Because they will take you on because they want your money, don't you? So you pay the gym a certain amount a month, and then you make and tap, and that's yours.
Ah, right, okay.
Got you.
I never knew that either.
I wasn't
So
sure
most
if
of the
to take a
PTs, like in David Lloyd, for example, they'll
David Lloyd's different now you said that.
Oh, is it?
Because they're the one of the only gyms that pay their PTs.
Right,
Do they?
okay.
They give them a wage, aye.
Do you get
They
salary?
get holidays, they get everything, aye. which is-
That's because how much you charge for the membership.
All right, okay, that's interesting. So most, let's call them independent gyms. If they've got a PT, it'll be
Aye.
somebody that's self-employed, essentially a contractor, and you'll pay for the space, you'll pay a bit of rent, and then you make above that belongs to you.
Pretty much, mate, aye.
Right, okay.
So where was your first
DW, up before.
up before?
DW
Aye,
before.
aye. Nah,
How was that?
I was there for 7. Mate, that was brilliant. That's one of the best gyms I've ever been in.
Aye.
I don't know how fucking they shut down because
Aye.
they were doing brilliant, mate. And it's like a really good like family kind of environment. Like it's not one of these gyms you just walk in and nobody knows your name. You're just a number.
Mhm.
Aye.
$19.99 a month.
Yeah.
But DW's actually really good, mate. The pool and all that was there. I enjoyed it.
I
Took
didn't.
me a while, but see you get actually to get a decent client base up and running. I'd say it took me 2 or 3 years, mate, to actually make
To get to a decent level.
money, aye.
And how did you go about that client acquisition? What was your?
It's weird, mate. You just go and talk to people in the gym.
Aye.
It's so strange. See, when you first go in, you're like, fuck, I do this. But you get used to it, and then obviously once you build up a client base, you're alright.
Do you remember how you got your first client?
I do, I've still got her.
Oh, brilliant.
Still got her, mate. I think you might have met her.
Aye, probably. It's just
A wee woman called Rona Williamson.
I've
You met
met
Rona, aye?
I'll need to ask her. How did you? Do you remember how Shaun signed you up as a client?
I must have been pure shite myself. I walked up to her and in the gym and I was like, just talking shit to her, and she's like, I'll do that. And then she signed up and I was like, this is a canter. And then I didn't sign anyone up for like 6 weeks.
Swinging this for 6 months.
I know, but it was good, mate. Aye. First day, bang, client.
So that must be like, I don't know, what, there's no guarantee of salary, there's no holidays, it's just you need to go out and win every client that you've got. It's just like running a wee mini business, I guess, yourself for the
It is, mate. Aye, it is. I don't think you realise that. I just thought for the first maybe 2 or 3 years, like this is brilliant. Like, I don't feel as if I'm working, I'm getting paid for it. You don't feel as if you're on a business, do you know? You just feel as if you're
doing something you enjoy doing.
You're enjoying it. It's not until maybe 2 or 3 down the line, and then I opened my first place. That's when I really thought, oh fuck, this is a proper business here.
Yeah. And see, when you were in DW, well, definitely want to chat to you about your first place. But when you were in DW, obviously a big business like that, did they give you support as a PT, or did they just kind of parachute you in and go, off you go?
Depends who the gaffer is.
Right, okay.
Depends who the gaffer is. We had a couple and they were just like their own thing. And then we got a boy in called Neil, who was really good, mate. He would actually give you support. He would give you leads. He was fucking brilliant, and that makes your life harder times easier.
Aye, if you've got a manager that's working with you.
I think as a gym, like a gym manager as well, you want your PTs to be busy because your PTs are busy and your gym's busy, innit?
Aye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want them to be successful.
What's the benefit to the gym in that model? Why would they not just hire their own PTs? Like,
because then they pay my salary, I'd imagine.
No, there was 10 PTs in there, mate, so they're making £5,000 a month for doing nothing.
right, okay.
I mean, and they could effectively just leave you there.
Is your fee to the gym flat? So they'll say to you, right, for you to be in here Monday to Friday or however often you want to be here, this is how much it costs you. And no matter how many clients you've got, that just stays the same.
It was £500 a month, mate, you pay.
Right, okay.
Which isn't it the most if you think about it. It's actually alright.
Aye.
Seems like a lot, doesn't it? Like your first few weeks, you're like, fuck. You get a few months to build up to it, but aye, it's not actually that much.
I'd imagine that's probably only 10, 12 clients a week or something like that.
Exactly.
Aye.
No, even that. No, even that. Once you've done 10, 12 sessions, you've covered it, haven't you?
Covered it.
Well, there's a question. I know this will come as a big surprise to you, right? But I've not had many PT sessions.
Still waiting you to come in, Barry.
What's the typical client paying? Like in a gym like DW, for example, I approach you and say I want to do a bit of PT. What am I paying?
Anything for 20 quid up to 50, 60. Depending on the PT.
30 quid an hour.
Right,
that's
okay.
That's all right.
Is it typically charged on a per session basis?
I used to do that. I used to do blocks of 10. I don't know what you do.
We do just a month.
A month,
month.
Just
pay on a month.
Well, I used to do blocks of 10 and it was the worst thing I've ever done. Because
people will take 12, 13, 14 weeks to do their 10.
Exactly, more than that sometimes. So they take cancel a session, don't get paid.
Right, okay.
On holiday, don't get paid. You know what I mean? So what we do now is we do a recurring payment every month.
Subscription.
Subscription payment. That's what I was like.
That's what I'm like. If my PT, if he goes on holiday, that he'll try and fire us in an extra session the week before he goes or the week after he's back. He's quite good because we've been waiting for a while, but like we're every month. But I couldn't go to the gym out. Like a PT, I hate training myself. I absolutely despise. So you go to the gym and just training yourself. I hate it. Don't mind going with somebody or a PT or that, but I just get bored. So even picking an air. Yep, I like to have a chat with somebody. Bit of banter, a bit of laugh.
I've noticed that, mate.
So obviously,
have an argument with somebody.
What's an argument, Andy? So obviously, DW learned the trade a wee bit. You were talking about, subscription, pay per session. You had a good gaffer, a bad gaffer, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. So you said before you get your first place earlier. So talk to us about your first place. What happened there?
Lockdown happened, mate.
Right.
Lockdown happened, so gym shut. Lockdown happened. I was sitting in my Moz, and I was like, "Fuck, am I got to do?" Because I was getting paid in the gym. Fuck me, I had no money coming in. But obviously, it's furlough and that. But
so did you get furlough through?
I did, mate. It was all right. It was not bad, but I was still like, "Fuck, am I got to do?" So I was living with Chelsea at the point, and I was like to my mum, "I'm going to convert your garage into a gym," and it was originally just so I could train, so I could do something, and I was like, I'm just going to start training people at there. So I started, and you've not seen my mum's garage, right? It's like a wedding old like 20-year-old garage, it's falling apart. Right? You honestly couldn't imagine it. It was massive, but it was a shambles inside. Right? I was like, I'm just going to start training clients in there. So,
mate, fair play to your man, because if Ira get older and phoned me after having been out the house, says I'm going to convert your gym into the garage, converting them into a gym.
see, honestly, mate, it was needing a good clean it anyway.
Win then.
We cleaned it out, set up a gym in it. I started training clients there. It was funny, mate. We had because obviously there's no electricity and all that in it, right? So we had a big line coming down from my old room right through the yard. An extension. And we had the tunes popping out in the garage. It was good, mate. Actually, it was a good laugh.
And did you take much persuasion? Was it a...
Nah, I mean, because obviously that means I'd go down there every day and all that, doesn't it? So exactly, aye.
But I think that's a brilliant story. When you think about COVID and the impact that had in businesses, the amount of people in your shoes at that point, which were they just sat down, took the furlough and thought, I'll just tough this out, I'll just take it easy, and then when what'll be. The fact that you've actually thought of an idea and went, I'm going to turn this old wooden shed into a gym's absolutely class in my book.
It was good, mate. It was actually really good. And then
and how did the clients take going for like DW gym to your old shed? Were they alright with it?
They were alright, because at the time you couldn't train
anyway.
Some people only come in, and some people are still like, I'm in my house, I'm washing my hands every 2 seconds.
That was me.
Was it?
Washing the messages when I get in for Asda and that.
The door with marigolds on and stuff.
Putting the washing in the bathtub, that was what you were doing in COVID.
That was mental, honestly. That was crazy. My missus actually said to me during that, she's like, you're not going to go to your ma's and that. I was like, I need to do something, I'll go mental in here. I can't sit in the house. I can't sit in the house.
A lot of PTs would have transitioned to like online coaching during that period. Did you do anything like that, or do you just prefer that face to face?
Probably missed it a wee bit there, right? I started doing Zoom online PT sessions. That was a real fucking low point in my life, by the way. Honestly, I remember I was sitting in the house and I had the Mac up, and I was like, day to me, and I had fucking clients doing like press ups and that, and they're living and flaring on it. That was terrible.
Aye. I never experienced PT. I just experienced my ways like dancing and taekwondo and stuff like that. And that was bad enough. Trying to do that, but PT must have been.
Oh, it's terrible. All my clients know this. I've told them all I've done that. I've still got a few of them to this day. But they were using like bands and all that in their kitchen. And then I've turned that off, me, and be next one. I was sitting there all day just talking to a computer. That's not me, mate.
It's a hard thing to master that when it comes to training into it, if you're doing it through a video. But that's a huge market now. You see loads of folk that are selling Zoom coaching, but like Zoom coaching programs through apps and stuff like that.
Meal plans, shit like that. It's all digitised. Like,
never do a fucking Zoom coaching plan ever. No, never take it up.
Aye.
Online training's good. That's what I should have done. Now looking back, I should have used that time to.
What's the difference? What's online training?
You just get I know it's a wee bit more in depth, but you just get a program. Your coach will check in with you. It's more for people who have got a bit of experience in the gym. So if you have experience in the gym, you need a coach for
a while.
Aye.
Right, okay. That's fair dues.
Aye, that makes sense. I know from my experience, if you need somebody, you've kind of said that as well, Andy, you need somebody just to keep you right.
Especially at the start, mate.
Aye.
Especially when you're just starting to train.
I don't like it. I've been going to the gym for years, but I still just like somebody standing there where you talk to you. Like as I said, I hate doing it myself.
Aye, the thing that always got me was like, even when I did used to go, and it's been a while, right? But when I did used to go, I used to walk onto the gym floor and there was all this shit. There was no like organised routine. I would just look at a machine and go, I think I know how to work that. Let me do a bit of that. And then I'd look at another one and go, I know how to use that. Actually, I'll do that. There was no like, I'm doing legs, I'm doing 10 of that. I was just like lifting stuff until I felt like my back was going TV, and then going, right, I'll have a wee break for 2 minutes. Went and figured out, right, I know how to work that machine and moving on to that. Like,
but you're not alone. There's so many people that do that. That's kind of why we transition to, but also why we what our kind of business model is, mate. Like showing people what to do in the gym. Like so you know what to do. Like, how many people do you know that just walk into a gym and they're like, fuck.
And the first time you walk into a gym,
I'll go to treadmill. And I'll go in the rower, and then I'll maybe do 10 reps on a chest machine. I was good with it. So.
I think it's a motivation thing as well. Like, I know from my experience before I started coming out to you guys, I'd get to the gym and I'd do a half an hour and I'd be like, fuck it, that'll do. And then off you go. And then
go to Greg's.
Go and get a Starbucks or something like that, you know. So like, having the guidance to say like, this is what we're doing today, and you can leave when it's done.
Aye.
You know, when you're flying solo, I just take the easy road. I'm getting a bit tired now. I'll just fuck off up the road.
Even just something to follow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing this, then my way.
So see, like exactly as you say, having that structured. See, when you were in DW during COVID in the shed, was that where you were starting to build up, you know, your understanding of training, and really was that laying the foundations to what you're doing now in strength and movement?
I suppose, mate. I kind of stumbled on a few things, man. Stumbled on that, and then that kind of led to my first place. And then in my first place, I kind of stumbled on the idea of doing group training, which then led to what we're doing now. And then obviously Stephen messaged me and he's like, I'm doing work, because he was working in my wee kit. It was tiny, mate. It was just a wee studio, and he was working in there, and that's sort of, well, I actually met Stephen before that, but that's how I met him again.
Right.
And then again, we kind of stumbled into this idea of, why don't we do group training and have sessions on rather than just have, because I had a set time. So I had 3 set times, and seeing the amount of people are not back at the start, because I can't do that time, so.
Because you've already got one person at that time.
I was like, fuck, I can't do it enough time.
So from the, you know, training people in the shed, COVID, you know, all the restrictions started getting lifted. Where did you move to at that point? Was that when you went into strength and movement, or was there a wee interim period?
Right, so I had a company called Rack City Fitness.
Right.
Don't ask.
Rack City.
It's not what you think.
Sign me up.
My dad said to me, he's like, you sure that won't scare all the women away? And I was like, I didn't even think about that. So I was thinking squat rack.
Aye.
Got you.
And he's like,
where was that?
Scared all the women away. And I was like, oh well, it's too late now. Kinnan Park. It was.
And was it like what was it? Was it a gym? Was it like more of a studio?
Studio, mate.
A studio.
It was a studio and a kitchen.
Right.
The kitchen was fucking massive, mate. It was just the way it was structured when we went in. It could be asked knocking walls down and that.
Aye.
And what did you set up in there then? What was your?
That was basically it, mate. So I was still doing one then.
Right.
But then about a year into it, I started in groups.
Right. Okay.
Got you.
And that's where the kind of group king.
So that I guess is your first, like, that's your first thing that you're stepping into where you think, right, I've got proper rent to pay here. It feels like it's getting a wee bit bigger. You're going for just being, you know, that independent PT, building up your clientele to this is like a proper business now.
Definitely.
And was your focus at that point like one of being, I guess, like heavily focused on client acquisition, or was it just, right, I've got a good steady base of clients here, I just need to focus on keeping them and doing a great job with them, or was it a bit of both?
It's a bit of both, mate. Because I lost a few.
I was going to ask you about that. Look, sorry, cut in. Just see, going for DW, do you then take your clients with you, or are you? Is that a bit of dodgy area? Or?
I took about 80% of them, I would say.
That's quite good.
I lost a couple during COVID, then I lost a couple location, because obviously that's East End, that company, Kinnan Park. So I lost a few both ways, so I had to kind of
go again.
Turn a few, but I actually gained a few just by moving into that area, because I'm obviously from that area.
Yeah,
I'm very close to there, so I gained a few people that I kind of knew. So I worked it alright, to be honest with you. And I never really done anything. I never really done any promoting, any social media, nothing, until about 2 years ago.
Yeah. So it was all just word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Folk that you were training already. I've got a cousin that wants to do it. I've got a neighbour that wants to do it.
Aye. And then we started doing I started trying to do a bit of social media.
Right. Oh, you're a pro at that now, anyway. So
I hate it. It's because of Gemma. Painting media.
Gemma's keeping you right.
Aye. Because I'm horrendous at it. I'm alright at it. I just don't do it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Stephen's even worse than me.
Aye.
So talking about Stephen, obviously Stephen is your partner in crime and strength and movement.
Aye.
When did he come into your story then? When did you first meet Stephen?
Met him in DW.
Was it as far back as that?
Ages ago. Met him in DW. I don't actually know when. Don't ask me when.
Was he a PT in DW as well? Aye.
It was after I joined, maybe two or 3 years after I joined. He started PTing. But then he left and he went up to Everlast at the Fort.
Right.
Aye.
Up at Morrison's.
Right.
He went there and I'd never seen him. And then he messaged me during lockdown. He's like, mate, can I come to your gym and train people? I was like, and it kind of developed for there.
Snowballed
For there.
for there.
Aye.
So he was in Kinnan Park with you?
He was in Kinnan Park with me for about a year, just over a year. Something like that.
Right. And when did Rack City Fitness sort of end and strength and movement start then? How did that all come about?
We actually had the idea of training football players.
Right.
I shouldn't say this because
Oh,
it's still
say
an
it.
idea on the back of my head.
Say it.
Go for it.
Because somebody might steal it.
Well, I'm not going to steal it. Don't worry about that.
You're safe at this table.
We had an idea of training semi-professional football players because there's no real coaching program out there for them.
Mhm.
So we were going to do either an online program or maybe in a gym, something like that. That was the first idea we had. And then we were like, oh, we'll do groups for them, so we'll get them in, we'll do groups. And we set up a wee Facebook page and all that. And then it kind of developed into, well, why don't we look for a bigger place? That was probably about a year ago now, maybe just over a year ago.
Right.
And then we spent about 6 months trying to get a place. We actually had a place in town, right? We had a place lined up. I would have met you if this happened. We had a place lined up and the boys were like, no bother, we'll get it sorted. And just going for months and months and months. We're like, what the fuck's happening? And then that's when we went up to Grove House.
Right. And that's where you found where you are now. So obviously we've met each other because your gym is at the other end of the corridor at our office. Was when you first got to Grove House in Uddingston, so bearing in mind you're for Cardonald, you moved over next to the fort. Now you're looking at Uddingston, which isn't a million miles away, I suppose.
No.
Was there ever any hesitancy to
Aye.
move location again?
Aye, straight away, mate.
Aye.
I didn't want to do it. Stephen talked me into it.
To me, that would seem like a big jump for Kinnan Park to Uddingston. That's easy 30 minutes. And if you're saying to folk, can you put 30 minutes on your time when you're coming to the gym there and back? I totally get why you would
Absolutely, mate.
hesitate that. That's,
I spoke to my clients and to be honest with you, most of them were alright with it.
aye.
We've got a couple for doing my Moz way and a couple of them left, mate. But that's what it is, isn't it?
Aye.
Aye,
That's
if
what it
you're
is.
keeping the
Just need to
majority
accept
of them,
Where is
It's
Stephen
fine.
based?
Bishop Briggs now, I think.
Ah, right, okay.
I don't think he used to stay there, but I think he used to stay, I don't know, somewhere else. No Bishop Briggs.
So it goes then for the setup when it was Racks City Fitness. Say, Rack City Fitness. It goes for like you having a studio, Stephen working there, you's both doing your own thing, to the two yous deciding, right, let's get into something together. And your first step is finding a location, which ends up being in Grove House in Uddingston.
Aye.
So talk to us a bit about your current business then, strength and movement. Like what's the theory behind it? Because I know there is a bit of theory, so talk us through that.
There's a bit of theory, mate, and Stephen will fucking talk your hind legs off you when he comes in about it. But basically, kind of what we spoke about earlier on is having a structure about it and making sure people know what they're doing in your gym. So, like you said, when you walked in the gym, you didn't know what you're doing. You're like, oh, fuck, I'm just going to treadmill. But every time you come in here, you know what you're doing. You've got a program. You get coached on top of it. So every time you walk in, you get coached. So everybody gets coached at least 3 times a week, which is the minimum kind of you're looking for in it.
So do you do group sessions alongside PT and everybody that goes to the group sessions individually?
You get PT'd in a group, almost a small
Right.
group, so 4 or 6 people. So you're still almost getting
You're
the
PT'd.
attention
Aye, that is.
that a one-to-one would get. Obviously, it's no as good, but you're still almost getting that attention, and the buzz round about the gym is a million times better than one-to-one. You know what, one-to-one, I don't know, maybe you can talk, can't you? So
Aye.
sometimes it can get a wee bit, I don't know,
So-
the same thing repetitive, one-to-one, like how's your day?
It's funny that the PT that I go to him, my wife goes to him, my sister, my brother-in-law, my ma, my nieces. He does all his, so it's quite funny because we just all go in and moan to him about each other. We're all doing that, and we're all the exact same as me. We all like a chat, we all like a moan and an argument.
He should rebrand himself McDade's personal trainer or something like that.
I've been trying to talk none of that. You need to get a group session with us, though, as that'll be hilarious.
That sounds terrible. So he's moving to Grove House. He's have this idea of group training, group coaching. So is that like as you are moving into Grove House, you've not done any of that beforehand? This is something that's completely new to both of you.
Done a wee bit. So I done a wee bit in Kirrin Park. I had set times, so I had 3 times a week. But it was literally just 3 times a week. I think it was like Monday night, Wednesday night, Saturday morning. And it was like 6 women I had. And most of them were with me. I think 5 of them were with me. You know.
And here's an interesting question that I think potentially people that are already in business or people that are thinking about getting into business would be interested in your viewpoint. And you've went there for kind of running your own show. You're the gaffer, you call the shots, you're managing your own time, to it then being you and Stephen, so the dynamic changes. How have you found that? Have you enjoyed having somebody else to lean into? Like, is that troublesome at times? Do you clash in any way?
That's a good question. But no, we don't clash actually, surprisingly. So obviously myself and Stephen both train quite differently, and I thought at the start, is this got to work? No, as a guy, mate. As a guy, he's fucking brand new. Training styles is slightly different, but it's actually been brilliant. And it's probably, we were talking about the other day, remember, different skill sets. So if somebody likes something, they can go to Stephen. If somebody likes the other thing, they can go to me. They can do a bit of a mix. And it's actually worked out fucking very nicely. I think at the start we were thinking like, I'm going to do a bit of Stephen's work, and then Stephen's got a bit of my work, and we're going to interlink it. And it's just not worked out like that. It's worked out more that this is what I'm good at, this is what he's good at. So just fucking stick to it. The clients can go to me or they can go to him. I really don't care as long as they keep coming, they're getting results. That's
I think
that's
I
the end
can
of it.
testify that. Look, obviously just started training with you a wee while back, and knowing that you're the strength guy, Stephen's a movement guy. I'll say to Brian, like, sometimes, fuck, I'm going to be dying on my way around to Stephen today, because you genuinely feel sometimes some of the stuff he does, you feel absolutely burst because you're just moving all the time, right? Don't see that as a challenge to make me work harder when I get ready. That's not the point. but having that dynamic, knowing that, right, I'm going in to do this, I'm going in to do that, for somebody with the little experience I've got in a gym, which is very small, it's quite reassuring knowing that there's such a design path that you're going down every time you get in.
Aye.
So I, from my point of view, I've found that beneficial, but also helping you guys, you know, with your website and reading all your content and stuff like that, having worked with you there, I can clearly see there's something quite different with strength and movement to just most other gyms out there, and the fact that there's this philosophy that really runs through it.
Aye.
So I'll ask you about the strength philosophy, right?
Right.
Because I don't want you to steal Stephen's thunder, and he'll probably have me on that prowler to punish me if I do.
Don't worry, I won't.
So talk to us a bit about how the philosophy came together.
Vanity.
Right.
Vanity, mate. That's what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, we got to look good.
Yeah.
Aye. So when you're younger, hope Chelsea's not watching this. Females in it.
Yeah.
Of course it is, mate. MD says it isn't, he's a liar. So that's the way you started, mate. You want to look good, you want to get stronger, you want to have big muscles, mate. That's how it is, mate. So I'd say my side of the gym is more based around aesthetics and looking good and being stronger. Obviously, strength does correlate to your life, you know what I mean? Like, can you lift your veins up? Can you do things with your back fucking killing you? Can you move a bit, do you know what I mean? But and then obviously Stephen's side is slightly different.
Yeah.
But it's more about how we look and how that strength relates to things you do in the house, mate.
Yeah.
Walking up the stairs, fucking lifting boxes.
Confidence
as well, that's a big thing, mate. Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
So that's how the strength part came about, and we'll get Stephen on to ask him about the movement thing. I know he'll probably take us a lot longer to get across his, having read his content.
Yeah,
But
can I ask you about, see when you go to Grove House, because obviously I've been in, so I know what the setup's like, but you must have walked into essentially an office block and been like, how do you then get in your head, I'm going to put a gym in there, because when you come into their side of the office, it doesn't look like a gym should be anywhere near it. Do you know what I mean? That must be quite
It was different,
strange
mate.
for you to.
It was different, but I think Grove's house is really nice, mate. And
Ah,
the area is really nice, so we're thinking this is good here.
Aye.
And then we walked in. Yeah, actually looked at the one up the stair. Did you see
Yeah.
the one up the stair when you walked in? The big massive one?
Aye.
We looked at that and we thought, it's just a wee bit big. And then he took us downstairs. It was 3 offices at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we'll knock the walls down for you if you want. So it was a wee bit hard to envision
Envisage
that.
what you're going to be
Aye.
like.
But once the boss started to come down, I was like, aye, this is it.
Aye, you get the
This is it.
gear.
One of my clients actually said to me, like, she's like, I've never been in a gym with Wendy's.
Oh God, that's a good point.
I know.
Actually, there's
Because
there's
I've never been in a gym with
they're
Wendy's.
ground level
Aye.
Wendy's as well.
I know. And she's like, this is fucking magic.
Aye,
Never
it's
thought of that.
it's a great space
Same.
to be fair.
I didn't think of that either.
My personal viewpoint is somebody that's, you know, naturally not a big gym head, is it kind of strikes a nice balance between some gyms you go to are very like industrial, it's like a gym, do you know, that way, and then other gyms like David Lloyd are more geared around just, you know, family. It probably strikes a nice balance between both, I think, like whether you're a gym head or you're somebody that just likes a wee leisurely trip to the gym. Like you've done a great job with this.
A wee leisurely trip to the gym. It shows you the experience.
Honestly, my last gym membership was at David Lloyd's, right, and I had to can it because I was taking the way into the gym, right, into the pool, literally bob about with a 3-year-old, 4-year-old in the pool for half an hour, and then coming out and going, burger and chips, man, I deserve it after burning the cat. I was
David Lloyd
actually
good food and all that.
David Lloyd's good food, man.
that, and of course the cost of it. You get the bill through, and it's like, I'm no making good use of this here. I need to can it.
Yeah, I think David Lloyd have got it bang on, mate. See with our community aspect on that, you get bring your lanes with you can have a day out with the family.
They do loads of nights and stuff like that as well. Like David Lloyd, see if you use it, you can't beat it, but it's getting in the zone of using it. I used to train with his brother-in-law, who was a PT as well, so him not knowing how to work a gym is ridiculous. But me and Mo used to go all the time. Like, I loved it when Mo trained because it suited me as well. He worked shifts, so me and him would go during the day, during office hours, and it was smashing. And now he's patched it, and I'm like, I'm serving my 3-month notice to David Lloyd.
You're bang on, mate. It's a value in it. It's a value. So see if you pay £100 to David Lloyd and you use it all,
It's amazing.
it's worth it, mate. And I think people hang that with us, I know.
Aye.
So I think people will say, £150 a month, that's fucking expensive for a gym, innit? But when you break it down, you say, well, actually, you get 12 PT sessions with that, and you get outings, and you get all your food done, your programme done. It's actually
It's
pretty
it
good
worked
value.
really well.
See, a couple of things you mentioned there. Obviously, you said I think David Lloyd have nailed it because of community. But I probably skimmed over that element of what you guys do, because obviously strength and movement is your brand, but there's a massive amount of focus you put on community. So talk to us a wee bit about some of the stuff you do there.
Mate, we do different things. I think the main thing is the cold water dips. I think that's what people have started to love. And I don't even know if it's a cold water dips or just going for food after it. Do you know what I mean? But that's what we do. We do them, one of them a month, every last weekend every month.
Does everybody take their own transport?
He's a more than welcome to come, by the way. I'm waiting for Barry to come.
I'll get there.
But mate, so we'll go early doors, 9:30, 10 or something, in 5 minutes in the water, and then everybody goes for something.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Is that how long he's in for?
Oh, man.
And I've never done any cold water dips. I've saying to the boys, I nearly bought one of the ice bath things for the house, and just because I seen an ad for it, and I'm a sucker for an ad. But what's the real benefits the cold water dips bring? Because I see they are really popular now.
You're better talking to Stephen about this, mate. You're better talking to Stephen. He's a cold water guy, mate. But I hadn't done it until about a year ago.
Right.
I hadn't done it. I think you feel good after it, mate. That's what I think, right? You're better talking to him about it.
So I'll ask for Stephen's scientific explanation, because I know he loves getting into the real nitty gritty of that. But just for your perspective, then, for someone who's only done it a year ago,
it's a hard thing to do, mate.
Aye.
See if you push yourself to do hard things, mate, you're more likely to do hard things, aren't you?
I've never done open water stuff. My missus is right into it. So we've got a tub in the back garden, but she prefers going open water. into lakes and lochs and rivers and shit. But I've never done that. Realistically, I use mine as a hangover cure. See if I'm really rough. I have 45 minutes in the tub, man. I'm like, oh.
It doesn't last long, does it? Half an hour too good fun, and then you're back to normal.
But that's all I've really got out of it. It is, see, the first time you do it, it's almost, you get that amazing buzz out of it, but it's like every buzz that you get, I always think it just dips a level. I don't know.
So do you think that's...
He'll tell you it raises your testosterone and all that, and there's a few different benefits. Like, you're better asking him.
Yeah, so you're overcoming a mental challenge and feel better, and then...
I think the best thing about it is I think we had 15, 16 people doing it last time. And everybody's in, everybody has to know each other. And then, do you know what I mean? 'Cause I think sometimes in the gym you're just passing somebody.
Yeah.
Although there is a community aspect to it, it's those days that really...
bring that all
bring
together.
the community together, and then there's 15 people around a table, mate, having a laugh. That was really good. The one we done the 31st of December was the best one we've done.
Yeah.
Now one of the moments you look back and you think...
That was it.
That was
good, man. That was good to do it.
Where was it you went for that one?
Little Lomond.
Little Lomond.
Milwaukee Bay, I think it's called.
Right, cool.
I'll sign up to go into one of them, right? That's you can hold me
as
to
well. That's it. Signed up.
I'll hold you to it.
Yeah.
That was cold, but mate, that was proper.
God, that's not for me.
Proper cold.
I could never do it.
Well, the 1st of December, the 1st of December, 1st of January, we did a cold water dip. We were away on holiday, so it was in Spain. My cold water dip was. It was still cold,
Wasn't that cold then?
It was still cold. Nothing like yours at Loch
Is your little dip going for the jacuzzi to the main pool?
I was just jumping in the pool, man. I was right in the pool, but it was still take your breath away cold, but must have been like 7, 8 degrees. Nothing like what Loch Lomond would have been. That would have been.
That was Baltic, mate.
So freezing.
That was
See, having a think about, like, I would imagine there's loads of PTs that aspire to have their own space, you know, create it as their own. You know, you spoke a bit there about like knocking walls down. Like, for the aspiring PTs that are out there that think, I want something a bit bigger, I want my own space, I want to run it as a proper business. Like, what advice would you have for them? Like, if I'm a PT, I've got 5 to 10 clients, and I think I want my own space, I want to grow this into something that's a wee bit bigger. What's the advice that you would offer up?
Don't do it with 5 to 10 clients.
that was my mental thought.
I'd say you need at least 40 maybe before you think about it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a big expense, mate. See, when you move away for 500 quid and all of a sudden you're paying £2,000, £2,500, it's fucking...
But then you've got the cost of your equipment as well, man. That can't be cheap.
Aye. So but I can accumulate that over time, so...
Right.
That wasn't too bad, and then when me and Steve went in, we bought a wee bit more. So that wasn't too bad.
So was that your trigger point? Because thinking about like a parallel to that would be somebody working full time and running a wee side hustle. You know, once you get to a certain point, you can go, right, time to go full time.
Aye.
Is that what you found with your transition? With, you know, having clients in DW, once you go to a certain number, you'll be thinking, right, this is go time for me now. It's time to get out.
I was thinking that, no, and that's probably, looking back, I was probably fucking stupid again. But
do you think if lockdown didn't happen, there's a chance you're...
I'd
not DW, you might be David Lloyd or...
I'd say definitely.
Somewhere else.
I'd say again, I stumbled into it.
Yeah, so you're
I'm doing a lot of this,
So lockdown was your trigger point, really? That forced your hand?
100%, mate.
Aye.
100%. So I'm actually quite thankful for lockdown. I say it quite a lot. I know other people hated it, but I'm like, that was really
that
good.
was the fire under you.
That was the moment.
Yeah.
So you spoke earlier as well about social media and marketing to a certain extent, and how it's not really your forte, and you need to really push yourself to do it. I know you've got a bit of help, but talk to us a bit about the importance in your world, social media, marketing, putting yourself out there to get yourself new clients.
Again, it's another thing I wish I started earlier, because if I started 8 years ago, mate, I'd be flying right now. I've only started it maybe 2 years ago, and then I've only really got into it the last 6 months, I would say, like proper, like posting every day. It's massive, mate.
What's your channel of choice? Is it
Huge.
Instagram?
We do Instagram, but we do Facebook, and we've started a wee bit of TikTok and all, but it's a wee bit behind. But it's massive, mate, especially on the fitness thing, because everybody's on social media, aren't they? And if you're on social media, where are you getting clients for? It's fine if you're in a gym, and I think that's probably why I never done it, because I was in a gym and you've got that constant
People
flow.
are coming in.
Everybody's coming in every day, you've got it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go on your own, you go, whoa, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And
Do you know, I've actually, there's a couple of people since I've joined Jolly Media Marketing that have said to me, God, you've really started putting yourself out there. I'm seeing you a lot on Facebook, TikTok, and my answer's always, see, when you rely on this shit to pay your bills, it's amazing how quickly you can get over that fear of putting yourself out there. Because the alternative is you don't do it, and then you're risking no paying your bills. Do you know what I mean?
So always the people that don't like your posts that say that, innit?
Aye.
I seen all your shit on social media, but I didn't like it. Cheers, mate.
For every person that says that, there'll be 100 that are silent. You know?
I know.
So,
They were to a lie about a week ago. My daughter was sitting in her bedroom and just heard her screaming. I'm like, if I mess up, she's like, I can't get my Uncle Braz off TikTok.
Andy's 10-year-old's my biggest critic. I nearly his bit of Christmas just to fuck about and have a bit of scran and that. And I says, you seen Uncle Brazzy's TikTok still, Ava? She went, aye, 60-second business update. Started giving me a bit of feedback, and I was like, right, feedback noted.
Feedback noted after 10-year-old.
That's tremendous, by the way. That's absolutely brilliant.
There's hiding once you're out there, is there? That's it.
Sees are going for it now. A post a day is what you're aiming for across all your socials.
5-6 posts a week, that's what we go for.
Right, okay, cool. And are you finding that that's working in terms of you're getting inbound inquiries on the back of that?
We're getting more and more, mate, aye. Especially this time of year. It's January, isn't it?
Aye,
So I've got a question about that, actually. January is New Year, New Me territory, right? Everybody getting into fitness, but that isn't the same every month throughout the year. So obviously being a business owner, bills to pay, how do you manage that seasonality when it comes to gyms? You know, high season, low season, how does it all work?
I think retention's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You need to retain, don't you? So you need to deliver a quality service. If you don't do that, you're constantly looking for new clients, you're struggling in November, December, aren't you? It'll be the same with you.
Yeah.
Like you said to me before.
Oh, definitely.
December's a quiet month, mate. But it's a quiet month for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you need to retain. Retain's a big thing, and then obviously if you can get more in January up to then, you're flying.
You're right, mate. December, I've spoke to a few people in different industries, and I think every single person said they had a quiet December.
Aye.
But what is a good retention for you when you think about a client in the gym? How long do you want to keep them for? Basically, the rest of their life, of course. But what would be good?
Obviously, aye. I think the one-to-one and groups are very, very different, because I think the one-to-one, I don't know, you might have an opinion on this as well. I think the one-to-one, some people think if they do maybe 6 months, that's it, I know it, I'm good.
Aye.
You're probably different if you need somebody to go to the gym with you, but I think a lot of people come for 6 months and think, I'm good. But with the groups, it seems to be people come back and back and back and back. I don't think we've really...
See, that's where I think all your community stuff's smart. Like, I get that you're doing that because it's enjoyable, but let's, cut through the bullshit. There's an element of that strengthens retention. Do you know what I mean? If they're out once a month having a laugh together, it's almost just creating friendships, isn't it? Going for cold dips, like that's not going to do your lifetime value any harm. Let's put it that way.
Of course it does, because if you leave, you don't have that. I mean, and I think Stephen's always banging on about it. You've got 3 places, haven't you? Homework, somewhere else. We want to be somewhere else.
I know you've done something. I was going to ask you about this if this was an intentional ploy, but I thought it was really clever. So you in December, when everybody naturally starts tailing off a wee bit. You've done the Prowler challenge, and you've probably done this pretty smartly, but I didn't realise until I was thinking about you coming on the podcast. As you told me about 6 weeks before I was doing that challenge that you're doing it before Christmas, the last week before Christmas. So ultimately, I was thinking, fuck, I need to push my body weight up and down a gym 5 times. I can't go and start slouching and not going to the gym, and that actually ultimately kept me going. I mean, don't get me wrong, I tailed after Christmas and vanished for a couple of weeks, but the build up to that challenge...
I was wondering if you're alive, Barry.
I was in the pub, mate. The build up to having to do that kept me motivated to do that.
That's good to hear, mate. It wasn't purely intentional, it just kind of worked out like that, I think.
Yeah.
The timing, but I'm definitely doing that next year now.
Right, I need to lose at least a couple of stone because I'm not pushing this weight again, no chance. But
you done alright, by the way.
Aye, I done it, which was the main thing.
It was good, mate.
Who was better, him or Jimmy?
Jimmy didn't do it.
James.
Oh, James, no,
James.
he's got a dodgy knee, hasn't he? His knee's
All
burning.
the excuses
He went
usual.
missing well before you, by the way, last
Did
year.
he?
Aye,
He's back now, but isn't he?
he's back, aye.
Aye. So I suppose, sorry anybody that's a member in the gym, and if we have to do that challenge again next year, that's probably my fault. So sorry, everybody. But probably just to kind of round everything off, what's the future of strength and movement? What are you going to be focusing on in sort of short term, long term?
Short term, long term. Short term is just building this unit up, mate. So looking for maybe 150 members, mate. I think if we could fit 200 in, that'd be amazing. But 150, I think would be right good. That's a short term, mate. Long term, big plans, 3 or 4 units.
Aye.
Somewhere sunny, mate.
Somewhere
Somewhere sunny, man.
How'd you?
How ironic on a day like this.
I'll
but-
join if you open in Marbella.
Aye, mate.
There you go.
There you go, aye.
How do you, sorry, now you start, see you're saying 3 or 4 units, do you think you would, I just imagine that you would get quite like personal about the gym, that gym being your baby, and obviously you have your philosophy. How would you then feel about going out and leaving your philosophy with somebody else to say, you're going to run this and I'll come back round and see you a couple of times a week and support you and have a chat? Like,
Stuff in it.
As-
Stuff, but
that's
you
where you
obviously
wanna
run
go.
your own business as well, so we need to find the right person, didn't you?
aye.
It's also about the person, mate. Because if you don't find the right person, that's it. That's the full thing done,
Yeah.
innit?
And it's your name, it's your brand, it's your everything.
Exactly. So we need to find the right person, and then somewhere sunny.
Somewhere
Somewhere
sunny.
sunny.
Yeah, somewhere sunny, mate.
So you think-
I would move abroad in a heartbeat.
Aye.
A heartbeat.
Oh, so would I if I could take my
Aye,
business with me.
exactly.
A fleet of McDane's
Fleet-
coaches.
Aye.
So you think? So you said 3 or 4. Do you think 3 or 4 all in sunny places, or are you trying to maybe get a few more in Scotland?
Something we spoke about, mate. Something we spoke about is maybe doing it in Scotland as well. I don't know where, to be honest with you. Maybe one in England, something like that, and then I'll do the one abroad.
It's exciting, mate. It's
Aye.
exciting. So
You've got to shoot for it, haven't you?
aye,
Aye, definitely.
100%, mate.
brilliant. Any more questions, anybody?
No, none for me.
No?
Just congratulations. Sounds like you've done a great job since you've moved into Grove House. I remember the first couple of times bumping into you in the corridor and saying how are things coming, and it was fucking just dying to get the thing up and running. Now it was like construction, electricians, plumbers, fucking all sorts. So it's good to
that's always
see you
what
now
happens, isn't it?
fully up and running, starting to grow.
We were actually in your room for a couple of weeks before
right.
you moved in, aye.
The first time I met you, actually, I went in to look at our office and he was sitting in there. And I was like, all right, mate. how you
Right,
doing?"
this is my office. No, it's not.
What was it? The first time I met you was then. The second time I met you, you took in my BT broadband because it got delivered to the gym.
Yeah, so we did, aye.
And fast forward 6 months, now we're here.
Exactly.
Right.
But, no, thanks very much for coming on, mate. It was
Mate, it was a
brilliant.
pleasure. It was a good
Aye,
laugh.
cheers,
that.
thanks
It was
a
a good
million,
laugh.
mate. So I just cheers everybody again for listening in. Back next week with a serial entrepreneur, Scott Smith, that we've worked with and that I've known for a while now. He owns one of Scotland's fastest growing gas companies, and also does a bit of property as well. So looking forward to speaking to Scott. As always, make sure you go onto the socials, give us a follow, give us a like, get yourself subscribed on YouTube, and we will catch you again next week.
Cheers, Ships.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers, Shaun.
Cheers, lads.
Right, mate, thank you. Cheers.
Brilliant, mate.
That was brilliant.
Nice one.